So, dear colleagues, with this paper, let me introduce the current results of the project part use of cultural heritage materials for regional identity building. Our expert group, like I mentioned, DAGNIA, focuses on opportunities to use the digitized cultural heritage materials for representing regional identity. We focused on general audiences, especially youth, as on the target audience of our project. We analyzed the possibilities how to use the content of digitized material representing regional culture, history, and identity, and what are possibilities to jointly develop cross-border digitized resources. Let me introduce with project team. Me and Dalia Tizikaitė were from Lithuania, also Christoph Schmidt from University of Rostock, Dagnia Baltinė colleague, and Kari Nilsson from State Historical Museum. There are some definitions of cultural heritage that serves to analyze the target set of a project, to talk about the cultural heritage objects. So cultural heritage is a legacy of physical artifacts and intangible attributes of a group or society that is inherited from the past generations. A cultural heritage is an important element in the development of democratic, law-based, and cultural-oriented society, and cultural heritage plays a very important role in shaping and ensuring the sustainable growth of regional identity. I think I will not mistake in saying that each country in developing its own electronic heritage portals with the main aim to represent national identity items in it. So briefly, how we can define the category identity. First of all, it's a social process. The main elements of national identity, as we know, are community, history, territory, citizenship, and common values. Artifacts representing these issues are extremely important and can serve as the elements building the national identity construct. According to many scientists, regional identity could be defined from a person's point of view. Regional identity have to answer the question who I belong to and where do I belong. A region is a set of cultural relations between the specific group of particular place. It's a people-bound category, undoubtedly bound with individuals, but rather connected to the social communities, according to British social geographer Edmund William Gilbert. So taking into account the definition of cultural heritage and how cultural heritage objects can characterize the regional identity, our expert group tried to determine how it can be adapted to our target group, the general audience, and especially to youth. The term general audience youth, it's a broad spectrum customer. Those interested in cultural heritage are very different. First of all, maybe to know, to create, to construct something, and at least to use cultural heritage objects to create new products or services. It's convenient that in this part of the project we're talking about young people and the general public. Those interests and needs can cover the widest scale. Talking briefly, each country has a vision of the digitization of cultural heritage, a long-term digital preservation programs, presentation programs, and defining a long-term legal documents. Each country has supervisory or coordinating authorities, and the legal basis at national level, therefore, is sufficient. Members of our expert groups analyzed the situation in Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Finland, Sweden, Norway, and Germany, and existing portals. And two big categories were divided: national aggregators and specific types of databases that protect a particular thematics. National digital heritage portals are depositories of parties which accumulate a large number of cultural heritage objects that provide the user with a wide range of search and selection options. And another group specialized databases of digitized heritage detailing objects of a particular type of cultural heritage. Such databases are intended for users interested in a particular topics. There you can see addresses of national digital portals, and also there I selected some of specialized databases where you can find a big amount of digitized archives of folkloristics, of different museum artifacts. And the customers have possibility to use the content of one on another portal to find important. It's necessary for him depending on his needs. Considering that the artifacts of cultural heritage are gradually moving into the electronic space and exploring, analyzing, comparing, or creating new products based on them, there are more and more possibilities. All cultural heritage keepers must see that properly evaluate not only the preservation of the object, but also the attractive use of them. Taking into account that the fact that the age of users of digitized type of cultural heritage content is relatively young, and their ability to use modern technologies is high enough, all the proposed services related to the methods of dissemination of cultural heritage have to be modern and attractive. National member institutions undoubtedly ensure the completeness and reliability of the data available, and it should be an essential incentive of them. Currently, attention should be paid to development of attractive services for the customers. It should be noted that the interest of some users is cognitive, and the main attention here to be paid to the possibilities of exact search and using prepared collection. A significant part of customers use cultural heritage artifacts for educational purposes. On the other hand, students use this type of material to perform independent tasks. On the other hand, teachers actively use this content for preparing different educational programs. And in this way, it's important to note that the preparation of metadata as well as ability to copying the content is very important for the users of this group. But it is also important to define the users for whom cultural heritage artifacts serve as creative tools for the products or new services. In this case, the licensing policy that has been given in particular important for the reasons outlined above. Special emphasis should be put on the curated collections, which serve as an effective tool in the process of dissemination of digital heritage. Another way to attract general audience is to invite the patron to contribute the collections or exhibitions, and also putting emphasis on interdisciplinary approach, for example, using a visual, a sound, and written word in the same collections or exhibitions. And briefly about recommendations for policymakers. First of all, it's necessary to promote the cooperation, international and interdisciplinary, also to ensure consistently and sustainability for this area activities. It's also very important to ensure the use of the content on the basis of the existing legal framework. And what is very, very important from my point of view is to support the implementation of a research-based digital cultural heritage content project. So thank you for your attention today, and those who have questions, recommendations, or just want to discuss on that thematics, I also invite you for tomorrow parallel discussion, and we will continue. Thank you.